Hi, welcome to Coffee Break with Researchers. Today I'm having a coffee break with Merle Jacob. She's a professor of research policy at the Business Administration Department at Lund University in Sweden.
Coffee Break with Researchers presents you with cutting-edge insights on regional development and innovation. We ask researchers directly and in a personal manner about their work. We make scientific knowledge accessible to all.
Merle, thank you very much for accepting this invitation to have a coffee break with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and it's great to be here.
I'm having a delicious Colombian black coffee as usual. Are you having any coffee?
Yes, I'm having some Nespresso coffee, and I have a nice new coffee cup, so it's good.
Nice. Merle, I want to talk with you about your paper, Being There in the Flex. Could you please tell me what the paper was about?
The paper is about a research funding instrument that funds researchers from the humanities and the social sciences to work for 2 to 3 years in a firm or non-governmental organization or even a government agency. And they work both on a research project of their own design, as well as they work part-time in the firm. I think they spend 1 day a week working on tasks as an employee in the firm, and they spend the other time in the firm doing research.
And could you please elaborate more on this concept of flex? Why do you think this concept was so fitting to the paper?
Well, I borrowed it from the name of the instrument. The instrument is called Flexit, and I tried to spin out from that and see the whole experience of the researcher as being a kind of flex situation. One, they're being reflexive about their collaboration with non-academic actor, as well as being reflexive about their own sort of condition of whether they want to stay at the university or whether they want to spend the rest of their careers working in a non-academic setting. So there is a lot of play on the concept of flexing to pick up on different aspects of the researcher's experience being outside of the academy.
I find this concept personally fascinating. Could you please tell us the main findings of your paper?
Well, what we found was that most researchers who did this, who had this experience, felt that they identified skills that they hadn't thought they had until they were in the flex. So many of them usually think of themselves as being experts on the issue that they do their research on and focus on the empirical sort of expertise they have. But when one does a PhD, one acquires a whole range of other kinds of skills which are much more useful out there in the flex than they are sometimes at the university, and those skills are often very difficult for researchers, even people in mid-career, to identify. So the experience of being in the flex helped people to identify other kinds of skills that they possessed that they hadn't really picked up on.
I can relate to that too. So could you also share some parts of your personal experience or motivation that you had when you wrote the paper?
Well, I am a researcher who works with understanding how research funding shapes researchers' careers and how it changes their research trajectories or strengthens them and creates opportunities for further development. So for me, the instrument is a special instance of collaboration. We have not had any similar kinds of instruments in Sweden before, so it was a chance to have an intensive look at people who had done this, find out their motivations, and find out how it impacted on their careers afterwards.
That's great to know. Thank you so much for clarifying it. And finally, I'm asking you about the policy implications of your paper.
Well, mainly the main policy implications should be directed towards research funders, research councils as we often call them. And here what I think is the most surprising finding is that through an instrument like Flexit, what happens is that the research funder provides or opens their doors to organizations that don't usually commission research and give them access to the research funders' infrastructure for funding and their expertise to commission research, and they do the selection on behalf of this organization, so that most of the transaction cost of learning how to commission research, the non-academic host organization doesn't have to spend time and resources on that. So the collaboration then becomes not just a collaboration between the researcher and the host organization, but also between the host organization and the research council. And that is an aspect of collaborating and of funding research that many people miss, particularly policymakers, because it's often not understood that in order to commission research, one has to have certain types of skills. And organizations that need research may not always have those skills or even the resources to acquire those skills. So there are two kinds of enabling factors that this instrument provides.
Sounds great. Win-win for everybody, both policymakers and researchers.
Yes.
I'm really happy about that. It was really nice to read your paper. And thank you once again, Merle, for your time and for those valuable insights. I wish you all the best in your future research and hope to see you next time in a coffee break.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more details about this academic publication, you can find here the link below. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, or listen to our podcast on Spotify. See you next time. Bye-bye.